Good evening. Welcome to Good Guy Sports. I'm Dr. Goerke alongside with the co-host Blake, but we got Blake Goerke for this week for just for now until the next person shows up, the next Blake that is, and then we got Mike Roby who is our usual co-host as he is every week. Um great to be with you, and let's begin with the first topic that I want to get to, which is we are in baseball all-star week, and we are going to talk about the participants and who's going to be participating in this year's event. We are going to start off with the first matchup, that is Roberts against Rushman from the Orioles in the first meeting between that is the 1 and the 8 seed in this first matchup.
This
Then,
is the home run derby bracket, right?
yep. That's right. And then after that, we follow up with the Garcia and Rosarena in the 4 and rounding out the 4 and 5 seed. And then right after that, you got Pete Alonso, known as the Polar Bear, as the 2 seed, going up against Rodriguez, the hometown participant in this year's home run derby. And then finally we finish it off with the Mookie Betts against Garcia Jr. in the final bracket. So when do you get your thoughts on that? And Caroline, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining me. Great to have you on. I like your giant T-shirt, and how are you guys doing? And this is Caroline Goerke, everybody, and love having you on, and great to be with you, and thanks for coming on to my show.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you so much for letting me log on, provide a little West Coast encouragement, huh?
Absolutely. Couldn't do it. Couldn't
The
do
West
it.
is the best.
I missed the memos on the fun shirt, but Uncle Mike, you look great. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
My shirt is from the Atlanta Braves 4th of July edition, from you, that you gave me as a gift about a couple of months ago back.
Gotta stay close. There you go.
It's a great shirt. I'm jealous.
You're right. It is.
So personally, you rattled through the home run derby participants there, right?
That's right. Yes.
I really like the hometown guy from Seattle,
Rodriguez.
Yeah, I always feel like the player who is hitting in their own ballpark has some sort of an advantage in the home run derby.
It's a big advantage.
Yeah. So I like him as a good value pick there, Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, I had to scratch out Pete Alonso. I had forgotten that Rodriguez was going to be batting it in his home stadium.
Are they matching up in the first round? Rodriguez and Alonso
yelling and screaming.
Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Alonso loves the home run derby, doesn't he? He seems to be the only guy that is doing it back to back. Like he wants to do it every year.
He has the experience, but Rodriguez was in it last year,
right?
And so he knows what he's up against, even though he's only hit 13 home runs so far this year to Alonso's 25. But having witnessed a home run derby in DC in 2018, and how the crowd was backed up Harper when he won. That's the hometown crowd's got to be good for 10 points.
I think that's the only thing he's won in his career, right?
Yeah, that's probably.
I kid.
I don't.
I think the advantage of being in a home run derby previously, I think, is actually a factor, because think about the way that you have to pace yourself, right?
Mhm.
Given the time limit and given the amount that you exert yourself in that short amount of time, I think having a year under your belt is actually an underrated aspect of the competition, personally.
Yeah. You know, as a fan, I enjoyed being at the home run derby much more than actually at the All-Star game itself.
People say that, yeah.
I mean, it's just it's the home run derby is just fun. I mean, you can't beat it. They had high school kids playing in between the TV breaks. And this one high school kid hit the ball onto the concourse.
Wow.
He hit the farthest home run that night, and unfortunately didn't get on TV. But
He's now field shagging the balls, maybe.
That was a lot of fun.
Jackson, do you have a pick for the Derby?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think Rodriguez has got a shot, but it's going to be tough against the defending champion, Pete Alonso, who has won it a couple of times, and he is chasing for a three-peat. So I don't think it's ever happened in the home run derby, but it could all change. If he gets it, you never know. But I think it could be up for grabs in my opinion. So, but if I have to pick, I am taking Mookie Betts.
I like it. I like it. Caroline, we can give you the bracket again if you want.
Am I predictable if I just go with Pete? Just because that's what all the headlines are saying.
It's not a bad pick. No, I think home run derby is one of those competitions where there's no bad prediction. I think anybody of the 8 participants could win it. So I think Alonso's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think I miss, with the NBA, the dunk contest, it can really be anybody's game, and it's far less predictable, and that was really entertaining to watch. So I'm hoping that's not true and someone can shake it up, but we'll see.
Yeah, since they don't have Kyle Schwab in the home run derby this year.
Don't worry, the jersey's hanging up behind me.
Oh yeah, we got a Schwab.
Schwaber.
Schwarber, Hall of Famer jersey behind you.
Yeah.
One other.
He was in the finals with Harper in 2018.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Schwaba and Harper, whose dad fast pitched in order for him to actually win.
That's right. Yeah, it's a viable strategy, getting out as many pitches as possible, right?
Yeah. Hey, and if it's your own home park, you can get away with it.
Yeah, I think one other name to look out for as well is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in this competition. He's a big guy, lots of power. I think he's emerging.
He's going against Mookie.
Yeah, that'll be a fun matchup, won't it?
Yeah.
I think Guerrero is my wild card.
That's not a bad wild card because he's been in the home run derby before. Yeah, that's not a bad one. I think Roberts is going to make it to the second round.
Oh, versus the Orioles catcher.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's always a surprise.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: anything has happened, and you never know which player is going to step up into the plate and hit those long balls out of the park. Because T-Mobile Park, I mean, the shadows do play a factor there. So I do think the balls will go the distance even longer depending on which way they hit it. So I do think it does play a favor of no matter which player you cheer against and who you're going against and who's competing against you.
Mhm.
I think that's what's going to really come down to.
Yeah, the air's pretty thin up there in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right.
A
And
lot of coffee too.
oh
Yep.
yeah, oh yeah, they will definitely be.
You get one free cup of coffee for every home run.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it will definitely be one of those derbies to decide it. I think is how this is gonna play out.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the All-Star game starters?
Yeah,
I've
so
got a few things to say about that.
right. So of course, feel free because
Well, I have the names here if you need them.
sure.
So in the American League, I don't have too many complaints in the American League. 4 Rangers in the starting lineup seems a little
I-
heavy, but I can't really complain about that given their
Yeah,
record. Tampa might be feeling a bit hard done by only having 2 starters, but you have to put in Ohtani and Trout just because of the names, and you have to put in Judge. So fair
Well,
enough. I
Trout's
think
not going to be playing.
that's true, actually. So technically, I think you still, even if you're injured, you still get
Yeah,
like
he's still on the
the
bud
name on the sheet. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I would assume they slot somebody else in the outfield there. But in the
yeah. So here we go. I've got the starters now.
in the National League, yeah, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
Sorry. So I was gonna say we got John Hamm from the Texas Rangers, Yandy Diaz from the Rays. He's starting at first base. A center fielder for the Rangers. Second base, we got Marcus Simeon from the Texas Rangers. Josh Jang, also with the Rangers. Corey Seager, Mike Trout, who for the very latest that I keep hearing about him, he's not going to be starting in this year's All-Star game. It will be the 3rd straight year that he'll be missing in the All-Star lineup. So he will be missing out yet again. And with that, he will replace Randy Arozarena in the outfield in that in place for him in that position. So, and Aaron Judge also not not available as he suffered a injury, so he will not be in this year's event. So with that, we've got Randy Arozarena as the outfielder, and rounded out Shohei Ohtani, which I'm pretty sure he's not going to be starting in this year's event, which I heard multiple reports on, and I believe that's true. So those are your elected starters for the American League. Let's move on now to the reserves. First up, we rounded out with Salvador.
Jackson, you probably don't have to read the entire list.
I know,
I just want to talk about the starters.
Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, the starters. Yep. All right. Okay. So
you can go to the National League starters.
All right. Yeah.
You just want to get to Atlanta. That's all.
I want to complain about the National League starters.
I wish. I mean,
even though we have
I wish. Although you never know. I could be there a short amount of time, but that's for another day.
So the starters
anyway,
in the NL.
Let's get back to on task here. Now we are gonna get to the starters for the National League. We have got Sean Murphy from your Atlanta Braves, and then we got from the Dodgers starting at first base, Freddie Freeman. And then from the Marlins, we got
Jack.
Yeah.
Boo! Wait a minute. Make up your mind.
Wait a minute. That's schizophrenic. You can't wear a Dodgers hat and a Giants.
It's like
shirt.
wearing a Yankees hat and a Red Sox jersey.
That's just wrong.
Wow.
I just wanted to do it for Jackson's
on her first appearance.
Listen, this is the most hated rivalry in the state of California. Unlike the Dodgers Padres, where it's more competitive. Although
just too chaotic.
I gotta ask Caroline, which rivalry is more competitive? Dodgers Padres or Dodgers Giants?
I'd probably say the Padres.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
probably-
think historically, I would say Dodgers Giants.
Dodgers Giants. That's the only thing that they care about.
I think historically, but maybe
Yeah.
right now it's Padres because they're spending a lot more than the Giants.
Yeah, but the Padres, you look at their record this year.
Ouch.
Hasn't worked out. Yeah.
No,
They're
they're going to be jettisoning some players. I
they're-
predict at the end of July.
Yeah, they are the second.
I hope so.
Yeah, they're the second highest payroll in baseball, behind only the struggling Mets. So there's that for you with one of the most last place finishing records in all of baseball.
Yeah. I don't see any Phillies on the National League starters or Mets.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
Well, let's move on now to the other starters here. We got Luis Arias from the Marlins. He's starting at second base. At third base, we got Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. And then we got shortstop Orlando Arcia from your Atlanta Braves, rounding out with Ronald Acuna Jr. We've heard of him. And then Mookie Betts, of course. And then following up, we got Corbin Carroll for the Diamondbacks. They are having a great start so far in this latest season. I mean, the Diamondbacks are in a position that many of us weren't used to seeing or ever predict. I mean, are we surprised that they are leading the NL West? And want to give your thoughts on how they are coming off to a hot start before the All-Star break?
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I was going to ask you. The Diamondbacks are off to a hot
Oh,
start. And
well,
they're
yeah.
NL West. Are you surprised on where they stand right now?
No, I think they're having a good year. I mean, you can't deny that. I think people are surprised how well they're doing in that division. Usually the Dodgers win that division pretty easily.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a little surprised going off of that point about the NL West. I know I am biased. I understand that, but the three Dodgers in the starting lineup, given their record today, if I check, is not incredible. It's they're 48 and 38. They're a game and a half out of first, so not a first place team. And I know I'm biased because Freddie left, but Matt Olson's leading the National League in home runs and RBIs. He's been hitting the cover off the ball. So how he's not the starting first baseman in the National League, I don't understand that one personally. I think the league got that one wrong.
So in the starting lineup, fan-based voting,
Yeah.
I suspect there's been a lot of ballot stuffing on the and there always is. I mean, it's a popularity contest.
The Braves are one of the more popular teams, so it's, I think it's fair enough. But the Dodgers, I mean, there's
It's okay for the Braves to have three, but the Dodgers.
Well, I mean,
maybe
look
not.
at the standings. The standings don't lie, Uncle Mike.
Well, yeah, that's the team standings, but you look at the individual stats. I haven't looked at the individual stats.
Well, no, that's why if you look at the indivial, I have the stats pulled up. Matt Olson is only behind Ohtani in the whole league for home runs, and he's one behind the league.
Yeah, but it's Freddie. Gotta have Freddie.
Listen, if Freddie was still a Brave, maybe I'd be a bit softer on him, but I'm not having that. I think Olson was robbed. And he's an all-star, so let's not get too crazy. But
no,
I think not giving the nod there at first base is a crime.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And then finally, the last player I want to mention is JD Martinez from the Dodgers. So those are all your elected starters from the National League. And then for pitchers, which I will get to, and maybe I'll get to relievers if you want me to, but for right now, I'll stick with Zach Allen, Spencer Strider from the Braves, Bryce Elder also on the Braves. Justin Staley, Max Keller, Josh Gray from your Nationals, who is one of the pitchers, but not but obviously the team still leaves their hand on as their main starter Corey Corbin though, but not their other ones. Just have to clear that out for you. And then Clayton Kershaw, who means that he might be injured and may not start. And then we round out with Marcus Stroman, who plays with the Cubs. For relievers, we're going to finish it off with Alex Diaz from the Reds, who are off to a surprising start. And I want to check the score right now for if they're playing right now, Uncle Mike, and I want to score right now. It is tied. It is tied. They're going to the ninth, and this could be up, and this could go down the wire depending on how this one finishes. But your team is and part of the reason why is, but I want to get that in a second. But your Nats are just not what to expect in a tie game, and it's just not what I would expect. But I'll get to that later. But I'll get to that thought with you later. But right now, we are going to talk about Josh Hader from the Padres, Devin Williams from the Brewers, Cormaria Duval from the Giants. That's right. And then David Bednar from the Pirates. So those are all the relievers, and then the relievers from the National League. Before I move on, we got Kenny Jansen from the Red Sox, Elmed Claes from the Indians, Felixa Bartz-Mitza from the Orioles, and then Yamir Camara from the Orioles. So those are all your relievers and pitchers for both the American and the National League. And then that's where we are in the All-Star game. And those are some great players to name on that roster. And right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want to give a shout out to Lane Thomas, being a local here in DC. I think Lane Thomas should have been on the All-Star team. He is hitting close to 300, and his arm, nobody runs on him. He's had at least a dozen outfield assists. He's got a cannon for an arm.
He would be your pick if you had to pick one national.
He would have been hands down my pick to represent DC at the All-Star game would be Lane Thomas.
Fair enough. Well, you obviously know more about the Nationals than anybody I know, so I certainly trust your judgment on that, right, Jack?
That's right. Uncle Mike does, because Uncle Mike does follow the Nationals compared to like every other sport he does, because he is because it is his number one sport. He is baseball, and he knows everything about prospects involving with the Nationals, and he is that person.
I like following the Woozers.
Yeah,
that's what my W stands for now. So
any of those, Caroline, any of those names stand out in particular from that All-Star that you're looking forward to watch? Ohtani's always a fun one to keep an eye on in that game, huh?
Well, I do hear that he may not start in this year's events.
Is he going to miss the game?
I think he is, according to my sources and multiple reports from ESPN, and yeah, I don't think he's going to be in this lineup for this year's All-Star game.
Jack, how many injuries? There seems like a lot of injuries.
Well, the Angels certainly have.
The league has
some bad luck.
The league has suffered a lot in that category.
But
Ohtani's got a blister on his throwing hand.
I mean,
maybe he'll still hit.
I think he can still hit.
I mean, listen,
he's not going to pitch.
Listen. Look at football and basketball. They suffered in that category all the time. So it's not just a baseball thing. It happens in most sports. You got to get used to it. So, but I hear you on that, Caroline. They just got to crack down on the injuries that involving with players getting hurt that in the league. MLB's got to address it, or else they got to take action if they want to get this all taken care of.
So is the National League going to finally win the All-Star game, or are they going to choke again?
Yeah, I feel like they're going to choke for at least, let's say, for like 16 or long 30 years or something. I think
That's a lot of years. No, I think they finally picked enough Braves. I think the National League is going to do it. It's going to do it this year. I think National League will win and Acuna will win MVP.
All right.
You heard
so
it
if the
here
American
first.
League wins, I can blame it on the Braves.
Yeah,
please
do
go
that.
ahead.
And I think we can all we can all talk about it once this game actually concludes, and I think we'll get our reaction to that, which I look forward which I look forward to doing the next time we do a show together. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'll go out and say the National League 5, American League 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4-3 National League was my prediction. Caroline?
I'm gonna go National League.
What score?
4-2.
Okay, we're all picking the National League. Jack, who are you picking?
I'm taking the American League in a let's say in a 6-4 game for my final score.
Fair enough. I like it. I like it. Hey, Jackson, can I ask Caroline a question? As a first-time guest, I just wanted to pick her brain. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, she's been living in the Bay Area recently, so I wanted to know, based on her experiences of all of the sports teams, professional, college, or whatever, what team has the most support in the Bay Area? Like if you're walking around, what team do you see the most jerseys of, the most TVs turned on to?
I'm in the hot seat. I'm gonna let Jackson take a guess. Jackson, what team has overwhelming amount of support in the Bay Area?
I am going to guess the Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State Warriors. Although the 49ers had a really strong Super Bowl run this year, and that was fun. That was fun to be a part of.
That's true.
Nothing's gonna overlook the magic of Curry, right? It's everywhere.
So two good options, to be fair, isn't it?
Although Caroline, they did trade Jordan Poole to Uncle Mike's Wizards, so
I know.
Just want to throw that out there for you.
Yeah, we're gonna miss him, and I'm glad he gets to go to Uncle Mike.
Yeah, thank you. But it's so much fun to say Niners.
Niners. You know, my first Giants game was Giants Dodgers, hence why I have all the merch here.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers absolutely blew them out, but it was a great game.
Yeah, I feel like San Francisco is underrated as a sports city in terms of like the fandom there, because you think like how historic the 49ers have like a long history. Obviously, the Warriors is more recent with Steph Curry, and then the Giants have won a lot of championships. Maybe not past couple of years, but they had their success over the past decade. So yeah, I feel like maybe gets overlooked. You know, think about LA, New York, Chicago, but I think San Francisco's up there.
I mean, I had a fantastic time down in San Diego at Petco Park, and that's my favorite park, and I didn't think anything was going to beat that, but I had a really good time at Oracle, and it was nice and it was super clean. So I got no qualms.
So you think, but you still prefer Petco?
I think strictly because of the weather, I still prefer Petco.
Petco's nice. It's hard to top that. I can't disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Petco is nice. But Nationals Park is getting there.
It's up there.
It's got a good vibe now. Now that they've started putting bars and restaurants and it's got a good vibe. It reminds me a lot of the Gaslight District in San Diego.
Okay.
So it's cool.
Looking like
They
a
gotta-
Nationals game in our future, crew.
I think so.
Well, they got to do something to get the fans there,
Gotta
right?
get
Well,
you-
yeah, you know,
we gotta get you.
as long as we're not playing the Braves that day, you all can come on up.
We gotta get you to see Uncle Mike and get you out to a game one of these Sundays, so that
Totally.
he can pick you up.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
We have the Rangers in town Sunday,
Ooh.
which is the old Washington Senators.
Mm.
Mm.
So anyway, that'll be fun.
Well, all I can say is have a great time with you and Aunt Lori, and please send us some pictures so that the whole family can share it with them. That would be great. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it.
No, I will do that. So I have a rumor question for you, Jackson.
Okay.
Are the Padres going to trade Juan Soto before the deadline?
That's a great question.
Wow, interesting.
I am gonna probably say no, but I wouldn't rule it out just yet. But he could go to a potential landing spot, but you just never know how things can really turn out in the trade deadline, because we actually had a trade deadline in the NBA not that long ago, but there was rumors about, we talked about last week we talked about James Harden, and then we got players like player Damian Lillard still trying to. I heard rumors about Damian Lillard going to South Beach, which I feel like is up in the air at the moment, which I don't know if it's it could be a potential landing spot. I've heard rumors about Clippers for his trading spot, or the 76ers, and that is right out there. But then for James Harden, players who are like much like Juan Soto, going to be trying to find his trade partner. It's unlikely, but you just never know. I wouldn't rule it out, but never
So
say
if the
never.
Padres end up dealing a couple players, would you think Soto would be the most likely of like the big name players to be dealt?
Well, that's what I'm reading. I mean, he is still under team control through the 2024 season.
Okay.
After that, anybody's going to sign him right now is looking at $40 million a year.
right.
And you look at what the Padres, who they also have, they got, Manny Machado, Tatis, Bogarts. It's going to be, it'll be tough.
Who could
The
have
other
predicted
person on the
that?
Padres that they might end up dealing would be Hader.
Yeah, I would imagine they'd be more likely to trade maybe a pitcher at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, who could have predicted spending a ridiculous amount of money on payroll would come back to bite you?
Yeah.
Like the Mets
I
and
think the
Padres are in
Mets
that
is going to
lesson
be
right now.
another team that are going to be sellers.
Yeah, I think it's from a trade perspective. Maybe there'll be, a team like us in Atlanta. Maybe they're less likely to trade to a National League team. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, there's definitely teams like that overspent, Mets and Padres, that have to shed some contracts. So it should be an active trade deadline in MLB.
Wouldn't it be wild that Max comes to Truist Field?
He's just
As
go
a
around
Brave.
all the NL East teams, huh?
I don't think I see that happening, but like I said, never say never, but it's always it's always open for anything, and trade deadline just kind of surprise us and give us what the sports reactions are after when they are finished and how things turn out. You'll have to I guess I guess that's how it goes, depending on which player gets traded or not. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things to watch, but for sure. And but yeah, you'll have to keep your keep your you have to keep watching and tuning in to see how it happens and unfolds. But you're right, it should be fun to watch, and the trade deadline's just could be up for grabs for any
Yeah.
fireworks, as they call it, now that we're coming off the July 4th.
So here's another one that's right out of left field, so to speak. Giolito to the Orioles.
Interesting. You think the Orioles are big buyers at the deadline?
They may be. There's, they're having a good season. They're still chasing the Rays, but they want to solidify at least a wild card spot. If they could get a starting pitcher of like Giolito, they may pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of contending teams be looking to add a starting pitcher and definitely bolster the bullpen. Atlanta would be in that category as well. So
yeah, Atlanta would be another one they might be buying for either him or Jordan Montgomery from the Cardinals.
Yeah. There's definitely some good names out there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack, what's your next topic you wanted to cover for today?
Yeah, so let's get up. Yeah, so let's talk about another sport and get caught up with some golf right now. We're going to be talking about the Pebble Beach Women's U.S. Open, which is happening right now over at Pebble Beach Golf Links, which I hear is beautiful and the fresh air is just gorgeous to look at, and a bunch
Also
of
in the Bay Area.
And just a few hours south of the Bay Area. It's very beautiful. My sister's been there; she can tell you all about it, and that's what's happening there right now. And
why don't you ask her what she thinks of the course?
I want to turn it over to Caroline Goerke and give your thoughts on Pebble Beach. Caroline, you were down there just not long ago at the Pebble Beach Golf Links Golf Club. What are your thoughts and what's your experience like? And tell us all about it. And how did you you like it there? And tell us all about it. And what did you think of it after your first visit to the golf club? Your thoughts and tell us all about it.
Yeah, Jack, hey, thanks for the intro. It was fantastic. Pebble Beach is completely underrated. I thought for sure it would just look like I don't know, a prettier coastal Augusta National maybe, but it blew me out of the water. Top-notch facilities, trophy room, museum, clubhouse. The pro shop was looking good. And everyone was super friendly, sunny weather and stunning views. And Carmel really showed out for us. So was lucky to be invited in to take a front row seat.
Did the greens play fast?
Incredibly.
Okay, something to keep an eye out for then this weekend.
Well, the thing is, Caroline, you're out there. Well, not really, but but you're there during your during when you're on the job there, for like when you're working at like college or a semester or anything. They have this thing called a marine layer, which means it covers up the sun and just takes like a I don't know, it reminds me of some sort of like a shadow effect for like how like really covers up the sun, and you just get this like cloud cover thing is what this really, it's what I think this is, and that's part of life of living out in California. So something to get used to, especially for the players and for the different golfers who are competing. And yeah, that's something to watch as the Women's U.S. Open unfolds. Heading into final round on Sunday.
Yeah, I think mornings will be tough, and then the afternoons things should slowly start to burn off, and the sun will come out and be a little bit clearer skies, clearer conditions. But definitely something to consider.
No, without question, man. Just because if you're out in California or any place like that, you're gonna have to get used to it, and that's what the lifestyle is and in California is really like. So well said, Caroline.
So the tea time matters.
Moral of the story: tea
I
time.
think so.
matters.
I think so.
But the only difference is they're on the West Coast and we're in the East Coast. So if the tea times are starting on for like local time out on the West Coast, then that would mean I guess prime time here in the East Coast for golf, kind of like what we had with the U.S. Open at the Country Club, and that's something for us East Coast golfers are not used to seeing, watching golf late at night in our here in our house and for fishing. What was a great golf tournament despite being finishing up on the later side, but it, but it, but at least it was fun to watch and really enjoy the tournament. But yeah, but the US but the woman but the women's US Open returning to Pebble Beach for like for the first time ever. That is something very special and to accomplish for them as a host, and couldn't be more couldn't be more thrilled to see it. But yeah, there's really a lot of there's really a lot of the set what they have accomplished for them as a host. But history in the making. But at least someday will learn us more as it all unfolds.
You want to talk a little tennis?
Sure, let's move on now and talk about some Wimbledon right now. And yeah, I know there's too much going on in the sports world. I feel like none of us can keep up with what's going on because with baseball and tennis and golf at the same time. And we're going to talk about the Wimbledon right now, and then right now we've got and then so right now and then right now for Wimbledon,
Still pretty early in the tournament, right? Just
right. We got players
first
like
rounds about to
players who
wrap
are
up,
still
right?
dominant and Novak Djokovic is still the man to beat, and then you got players like Andy Murray and Tsitsipas and Andy Murray match, which I was watching a little bit earlier before our show, and then Serena is retired and she no longer plays because she's pregnant now, and that's what I had to bring up. And but yeah, for this year's women's field for Wimbledon, there's a bit of names that I'm not very familiar with, but at least I'm getting used to it. And Tsitsipas and Murray is going on right now. It's streaming on all of the ESPN platforms, and for what the tournament's going on right now. And yeah, I know they're tied right now. Yep, that's right. They're all tied, and yeah, they have over 12 ports and all the videos they can watch live, and they're going on right now. Once we're doing our show, I mean that's a bit crazy, but at least I'm saying that we have sports going on, too much going on. But Uncle Mike, I mean, there's so much going on. Do you really follow tennis? And if you do you watch any of it? And do you ever and do you know anything about Djokovic, Andy Murray, and then Roger Federer for one of the greatest tennis legends of all time? If you and if you ever watch it, give me your reaction if you do.
Well, I don't follow too much tennis. I know that we've got a local in the Wimbledon playing over there, but no, I haven't followed them very closely. Sorry to say.
Yeah, well,
I think on the women's side, my favorite is, it's not a big prediction because you're number 1 seed, but I like the Polish Swiatek. I think she's the best player in the women's game. I think all things equal, if everyone's on their game. I I would go with her. And on the men's side, maybe Alcaraz can give Djokovic a run for his money, but right now it's hard to see anybody being the Joker. I personally think it's, I prefer a bit more parity in the top of men's tennis. For a while in women's tennis, we didn't have that because Serena was winning everything, right? And we can appreciate dominance, of course, at that level, but there's also something to be said for having parity and having a good number of top players. I mean, you could argue that was having the trifecta of Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer going at the same time was really healthy for the men's sport. Now it just seems like Djokovic is going to win every tournament unless something crazy happens. So, rooting for an upset, but tough to overlook Djokovic given his current form.
Alcaraz is given his best shot of trying to be the man to take down Djokovic. But like you said, it's never going to be easy. He is tough to beat on the grass court. So I feel like it's going to be a bit of a advantage for the to Djokovic, like you said, and he's the man to beat. And I'm going to stick with that, and I agree. Djokovic does remain to be the favorite. Slight edge for Djokovic over the field, and that's who I'm sticking with. And I got nothing to say, but Djokovic is just the man to beat, and I'm gonna stick with that. And he'll be winning the this year's tournament in Wimbledon. I've got all my money for him, and he's going to be winning it all this year. And
how much money?
A lot. He'll be winning a ton. Once the foul ball, once the foul ball is finished, then he'll be winning the championship, and he'll be holding the trophy at center court, and he'll be defending champion at the championship Wimbledon tennis tournament, and he will win it all this year.
Okay, very, very bold prediction. I like it. What other topics are we going to cover today, Jack? Before we wrap things up,
we got about a few minutes left before before we wrap our stuff for tonight.
Should we? Do you want to recap the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and announce the results of our prior predictions?
Yes, let's do that. And yeah, so to round it out, Joey Chestnut is still the champion in the Nathan's hot dog famous eating hot dog contest. And
surprise, surprise. Who's more dominant, Joey Chestnut or Djokovic?
What is this debate?
Joey the Jaws.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Chestnut's more dominant, personally.
Yeah, I think he's dominant with his price of his hot dog eating, shoving in his mouth, and putting in as much as he can so that he can defend his title heavyweight, and that's really why he's been that dominant. And
he puts the heavy in heavyweight, huh?
Like to put his and he likes to bulk up and put up his meat on him, and he's just that dominant of a man he is. And yeah, he's just an incredible eater. And yeah, there's nothing that you can really say about him. But Joey Chestnut,
yeah, I've been called an incredible eater before too, for what it's worth.
And he really deserves to be his place, and that's why he's the defending champion.
Yeah, I bet his parents are proud of him.
I'm sure.
Now, I believe we predicted the numbers or the results for how many would be the winning number last week. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I did come closest to the final total, which was 62, I think. And I believe I was closest with 67. So not sure what prize I win. Maybe I win a free hot dog or something.
You win the mustard stain.
The mustard stain. Well, I've already got a lot of those, to be fair. So
You win the sauerkraut.
There you go. There you go. Oh, I have a question, Uncle Mike. What do you put on your perfect ballpark hot dog? What toppings and condiments do you put on it?
My favorite?
Mustard and
Uh-huh.
chili
Ooh.
and
chili.
and cheddar cheese.
Nice.
Nice.
Any sauerkraut or just those?
No, that's
That's fair.
that's all I put on it.
Yeah, chili cheese dog is good, to be fair. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I'll usually just I like to do ketchup and mustard actually. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's
That's
if that's
okay.
strange. If that's
That's-
strange or not, or people just prefer one or the other.
Depending on what part of the country you're,
Yeah,
I
That's
mean, there's a
true.
lot of people. It's like, oh my God, you put ketchup on a hot dog. Ah.
right. I wouldn't I think I used to put just ketchup. I think that's probably a bit weird, but
Yeah.
I think doing mustard or mustard and ketchup, I feel like is the best way to go
Yeah.
personally. So
Well, to be fair, we eat vegetarian hot dogs. They're from
Mhm.
Field Roast, and we use Amy's chili, which is a plant-based chili.
Oh, we love Amy's, Uncle Mike. We love Amy's.
Yeah, Amy's is good stuff.
that's what that's your dream hot dog as well, Caroline and Amy's.
You know, as someone who doesn't identify with eating a hot dog every time I go to a baseball game, I think Uncle Mike's approach is the best if I'm gonna have my one yearly hot dog.
So what do you get at the ballpark then if you don't get a hot dog for your for some grub?
I get a big, tall, cold one and some peanuts.
Buy me some peanuts and cry. That's good. That's fair enough. Yeah, that's
You
classic
know,
ballpark
actually,
fare.
last ball game I went to, I got a huge hot chocolate because it was super cold. So that was my,
And it costs
unpopular opinion.
$20.
100%. Got the good Ghirardelli hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice. Very nice.
That's
Jackson,
something,
what about you?
that's something you don't see every day at a ballpark. For me,
Yeah,
I
what do you
think
put on?
depends. I mean, maybe every once in a while I'll do hot dog, but not all the time. But like I said, I'll have one every once in a while. But other than that, I'll probably get a pretzel and
Ooh, nice.
have a sweet tooth. I would I could get there's this thing called a ice cream, and they put it in a inside a ball cap, and then you like eat it, and
Yeah.
goes out of your mouth, and those
He likes dipping dots.
Ooh, Dippin' Dots.
that's good too. But then if you go to but then there's also ice cream where they put it in a ball cap, and then you eat it from a spoon. That's also it's a classic for any kind of ballpark you visit, and that's what they're there for. And I think ballparks should just really deliver, and I think
And
that's
you get to keep the hat too, right? The
that's
mini
right.
hat.
That's right. If you tend to go this route, then yeah, that's right. You put it maybe you can and once you're finished, maybe you can store it as a collectible, and who knows, put it in your office display, and
You can put it on top of your pet mouse.
put it on top of your maybe put it on top of your I mean your computer or your office, whatever you have left in your that's left in your office. But who knows, it could be it could be it could be the first one to display, and I think it'll be here to stay if you desire to try it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything you want to cover before we wrap things up here, Jackson? Couple of minutes left.
Yeah, so let's finish it off here with the Braves are hot, but we got that covered.
Obviously.
Right,
The whole world knows that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Smoking hot.
yeah, we know that already. But other than that, we're gonna round it up with some preseason and college football. Starting off with Georgia at number 1, Alabama number 2 is where I think it stands right now, but it could all change. Those are my top 2 as of right now, but come August we'll talk more college football, and I'm pretty sure we'll know more of the details and the full top 25 slate once the college football season comes around the corner. And yeah, I'm sure we'll recap all of that, and I think what I want to say once the college football season rolls around.
And the Commanders will have a new owner by then.
Absolutely, absolutely. Unlike the San Francisco 49ers, where Caroline is, where they have a bunch of success, well, the Commanders have had a lot of off the field issues, and they have had like a bunch of like poor ownership involving with one of the people working with Dan Snyder, and yeah, that's just that's what I mean. The Commanders have had a tough like few years involving with what's really going on in their workspace and environment, and I think that's what they've got to get addressed, and hopefully clean that all up, like Mike said, during the start of the season, and then once that gets completed, then I think everybody can be welcomed as a environmental friendly Commanders environment. If they and also the stadium, I don't even know I don't even know what they're going to be doing years from now, but I don't know if DC is really an option because of the government land that's taking place there, but in Virginia or Maryland otherwise, that might come at a cost, but I remember, Caroline, when they had the old Candlestick Park in San Francisco. It has been a historic place. Now it is open land, like surrounding a park and different attractions near it. But now they play in San Jose, no longer in the San Francisco Bay Area, where it's now at. I mean, the old Candlestick Park just used to be up the road from where the new one is. But I want to get Caroline's and Uncle Mike's reaction to this, and your thoughts on it, and tell us all about the history of those two places, and what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I'm headed down to the new stadium at the end of the month to attend a show. So
that's right. You're going to the Taylor Swift concert. Oh yeah.
Bury the lead. Why don't you?
Wow.
Yeah. So I will
Swifty.
Yes.
And I'll come back with full facilities report. How about that?
Levi Stadium, right?
Levi's. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'll come back, Jack, with some pictures and some full reviews once I have all my knowledge. But hey, Jack, Uncle Mike, Blake, such a privilege to have a seat at this table and to chat a little bit with you guys. And I hope to be invited back, but I'm honored for the invite that I got today.
It's great to see you, Caroline.
Great to have you on.
Great to have you on, Caroline. We love having you, and please come back anytime whenever you want. We love to have you back on. Come back anytime you want, and love having you back, and we appreciate it, and thanks for coming on, and come back again soon. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jack.
See you,
Thanks,
Mike.
Blake. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya. Have a good weekend.